It's odd that, generally speaking, they don't. Now, you can talk about patriarchal society and this, that, or the other thing, but in the last, even if you just took the last century or the last half century, and you look at the novelists that have gotten, their names, uh, frankly, women just, don't write as well as men, at least being published. This isn't to say that the best of them, Sylvia Plath, for example, is certainly as great a poet as the best poets out there. Um, but I'd be hard pressed. I mean, Willa Cather comes to mind in English. Maybe there's some women in other languages. But Willa Cather comes to mind in English as a novelist that wrote some three or four very good books. Arguably, you could argue maybe some greatness in some moments. I don't think she was a great overall prose writer. You look at someone like George Eliot, who's actually a female, if you don't know. My mother loved Silas Marner. I remember my mom telling me that. But they're creaky. You look at that, it's ridiculous. I'll give you an
Betty
example.
Smith had one sustained great novel in The Tree Grows in Brooklyn, but
Right.
her other stuff doesn't match it.
Right, but let me tell you, people talk about Elizabeth Barrett Browning and sonnets from the Portuguese. Elizabeth Barrett Browning, she had her poem in verse, which oh eludes me. Good thing I have this up here.
Aurora?
Aurora Lee. Yeah, I didn't have to look it up. Thank you. Aurora Lee is an excellent narrative, and it works both if you were to, in your mind, sort of depoesize it, and it's also very good type poetry, with maybe only 2 to 3% of it falling into some predictable rhyme schemes and whatnot. But when you're writing a novel length poem, that's a novel, that's easily forgivable, especially given the tenor of the day, which is why I say Elizabeth Barrett Browning, for example, far greater writer than Robert Browning. There's no comparing the Brownings. Elizabeth Barrett Browning was the shit. Robert Browning was just shit.